This is the best-selling pickup truck outside of North America. It is, of course, the Toyota Hilux. Today, we've traveled all the way to the UK to get some international perspective. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. Woo! Ah! Good morning from a very foggy and cold Wales, Great Britain. I'm here to drive the new 2024 Toyota Hilux GR Sport 2, a truck you can't even buy in North America. Back in the US, of course, if you want a mid-sized truck that says Toyota on it, you're gonna buy a Tacoma. That is our only option. But globally, the Hilux is actually the best-selling truck outside of North America. So what is the difference between this and a Tacoma? Quite a lot, actually. The fourth generation 2024 Tacoma is based on the new TNGA-F body-on-frame platform shared with the larger Tundra pickup, the upcoming 4Runner, and the new Land Cruiser. It has independent front suspension with coil springs and a solid axle in the rear. It also has the latest in Toyota tech and styling. This 8th generation Hilux is built on Toyota's older IMV platform. It has a ladder frame structure with a live axle, leaf springs, and monotube shocks in the rear. Up front, you get a double wishbone independent setup. Because this is a GR Sport, it has some additional suspension tweaks you won't find on the standard Hilux model, including a raised ride height resulting in more than 12 inches of ground clearance. Of course, the Hilux is legendary for its reliability. That comes from its simple, proven design. That said, there are rumors that the Hilux will be moving to the TNGA-F platform in the near future. However, at the time of filming, nothing official has been announced. The model we're driving today is the 2024 Toyota Hilux GR Sport 2. UK pricing on this is £49,750, or the equivalent of about $65,000 US. Here in the UK, this competes directly with the Ford Ranger. But does it compete with the Ranger Raptor or a lesser model? And then how does this compare to the Tacoma TRD Pro that we get back home? Well, we'll come back to that a little bit later in this video. In terms of design, this truck has a lot going on right here. With the GR Sport, you do get a wider track, so it has fender flares to cover the Bridgestone Dueler all-terrain tires. These are a 265/65/17 fitment. I think the tires actually look a little small on this truck. A proper set of 33-inch all-terrains would look way better. In the back is an Aero Sport Bar. I don't know if it's functional, but I'm guessing that it's not. The approach angle here is 30 degrees. The departure is 26 degrees. And yes, that is a metal skid plate underneath. Under the hood is a 2.8-liter inline 4-cylinder turbo diesel. This produces a peak 201 horsepower and 364 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to a 6-speed automatic transmission with part-time 4-wheel drive. A 6-speed manual is also available. This also comes standard with an electronically selectable dual-range transfer case and a rear locker at this trim level. Okay, climbing in. Of course, I'm in England. This is a right-hand drive truck. But right-hand drive actually isn't too hard. It's just my left hand isn't used to doing so much. Okay, but as for this interior, I love the steering wheel. The little GR emblem down there is also very nice. It's leather wrapped, it's dimpled, feels really great actually. It's powered up. Little GR start stop button. Now the gauges here are of course your traditional old school Toyota gauges, nothing exciting here. Also the infotainment screen, this is the old software. This is basically the same thing I had in my 2021 4Runner. As for the rest of this interior, this is a very sporty looking Hilux. I mean, you get the carbon fiber with red trim here, very aggressive, sporty bro looking. And then up here you have these little JBL speakers, which look like they're removable, but they're not. And then of course you get some gloss plastic on the doors and around the automatic transmission lever. I do like that you get the old school handbrake, that's awesome. And then for switching between H2, H4, and L4, you get a dial right here. Of course, this does not have full-time 4-wheel drive. It is a part-time system only. So you're gonna be tooling around in 2 high most of the time. I do get paddle shifters to control the automatic transmission. And yeah, actually, what did I get here? On my drive out here from London, I averaged 30.7 mpg. I do know that when I was on the highway, I was getting close to around 32, 33. But of course, it depends on how you're driving. Okay, yeah, overall, this feels just like an older truck. It's old. It is due for the refresh that every other Toyota product has been receiving, and I expect we'll see an all new Hilux on the TNGAF platform probably in 1 to 2 years. Still won't get it in North America though. Global markets only. Okay, well, let's see how it drives. Of course, we can't get any diesel option from any Toyota in the US. In fact, for consumer vehicles in the United States, diesel is effectively dead. Thanks a lot, Volkswagen. So for that reason alone, I'm very excited to be driving this truck. But also, it's a Hilux. Can this compete with a Ford Ranger Raptor in conditions like this? No, actually it can't. The Ranger Raptor, it might as well be a spaceship. This is a stagecoach. Did you see the suspension in the back? Yeah, stagecoach. Much like this Hilux GR Sport, the 2022 Ranger Tremor that I used to own was also an older design that had newly updated suspension. And it rode actually very similar to this truck. I mean, it's a little rough. My head is tossing all over the place as I'm going over irregularities. Of course, I do have to complain about the tires. Bridgestone Duelers, not my favorite. They're a really mild trail tire. I would much rather put some proper all-terrains on this thing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. There's the bounce. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh, and then splash. Right. So, modern trucks like the Ranger Raptor and even the new Tacoma are much better at centering motion around the driver and not putting it all the way into the driver's head. I am getting a ton of head toss as I go over irregularities. I'm just getting thrown around this seat. Now, this does have better bolstering than the standard Hilux, but it's just not enough. I feel like my head's gonna pop off. Okay, now we're on smooth track. This is nice. And here, yeah, it's actually really comfortable to drive. I do like this 2.8 liter diesel. It just has a really good torque curve. It's not overpowered, but it has plenty of it. There's that bounce again. Yikes. Oh, yeah. There we go. I mean, I don't even need to exaggerate. You can see what's going on here. Oh. Woo! Okay, so it drives pretty much like I expected it would, but now let's talk about utility. In the back, you get a short bed that can handle an impressive 2,200 pounds of payload. Towing is rated at 7,700 pounds. The second row can fit a full-size adult. I'm 6'1" and I fit fine. It also has seat warmers in the back, which are great to see. It even has these little flip-out bag hooks, which is a really nice touch. The second row also folds up, so you can store larger items. Up front, the seats are a sporty leather and ultra suede design. And I have to say, ultra suede is a really weird choice for an off-road truck. That stuff's not easy to clean. The seats are heated and there are power controls on the driver's side. The steering wheel is wrapped in leather with contrast stitching and a GR logo on the bottom. The infotainment is pretty ancient, with the old Toyota software and a subpar surround view camera system. It's like it's straight out of my old 2021 4Runner, and that was the worst part of the 4Runner. And the 4Runner comparison is actually way more appropriate than you may be aware, because the very first 4Runner was actually a Hilux pickup with a bed cover. Of course, these days, the 4Runner really has come into its own, but they're still pretty closely related on the Toyota family tree. But is this as capable as my old 4Runner? Let's find out. This ridge road is going to be a little bit more challenging than the roads we were just on. And I'm going to go ahead and switch this into 4 low. I guess I have to put it in neutral. Just heard the transfer case go chunk back into drive, and away we go. Now this does have a rear locker, but I'm not going to engage that yet because I just don't really feel I need it. And also, when you engage 4 low with the Hilux, it automatically turns on the A-Track traction control system, which will use wheel braking to shift power left to right. Of course, this does have a rear locker, but A-Track will help mimic a front locker. You can't get this with the front locker. Now, you might have noticed, I'm not goofing with systems like multi-terrain select or crawl control. This doesn't have them. Yep, this is old school. Inevitably, you're probably asking, where am I off-roading? Because there's not a lot of off-road locations in the UK. Well, I'm actually at a private facility called Sweet Lamb. It's where they do WRC testing and truck testing today. This is super rutted. I'm gonna see if this, if we actually have 12 inches of ground clearance here, I guess. Oh, whoop, okay. Slipping all over the place thanks to these dueler tires. All terrains. Let's come up on the shelf here and give myself a little bit more edge to work with. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. Fell off the rut. Ground clearance. Yep. So far this is like, yeah, show me some more. Okay. Find something a little more challenging here. This does have a hill descent control system. Let's give that a shot. Does it work in low? See, so I engage it, get a little icon up there, release my foot, and it'll ease me down the hill. Okay. Works like it should. Oh, I can hear it. Pew, pew, pew. That's interesting. Huh, works really good. Eases me down probably about 1 mile per hour. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Should we try this? Yeah, let's try this. It's a motorcycle track. I don't know if our tire has enough grip, but I'm willing to give it a try if you're willing to watch. I have nothing I can really do in terms of setup because I'm already in 4 low. A-Track should already kick on. Let's go ahead and engage that rear locker. And up we go. Can we get up this? Oh, nope, nope. It's too loose. Hit that skid plate. Huh. Maybe a different line? Let's try to the right. Nope. Now I gotta be careful because if I slide sideways at all, there's definitely rock shelves here. Okay, let's find something a little bit more realistic. I could probably get up this with enough tries, but on we go. I think there's a spot up here we can play with. Now it is possible that if we had like MTS with like a sand mode, that might have done a little bit better up that hill. But I think the real issue for me personally was just these tires. I really couldn't rely on them to get me up it without too much chaos and potential serious issues. Listen to that A-Track kick in. Listen for clearance issues. Gonna get up this. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. So I'm just gonna keep throttle in. Is A-Track going to kick in? Not really doing anything. Let's lock that rear diff. Locked. Now we should just climb up. Oof. Okay, are we running into the limitations of the Hilux here? Because we don't really seem to have advanced traction systems kicking in. Oh man. Quick power. Oh, that's going to do anything. Doesn't. Yep. Power. Nope. Hold down traction. No, that should. Nope, we're just slipping. So I got the rear locker on. Power. That. Nothing. Okay, let me take a quick look here in the book, because A-Track should be kicking in, and it's not. Okay, disabling the track systems. 116. We are stuck. Are we though? Is it working it out? Is it working it out? I'm hearing the in the system. Yeah, it's not getting it. This slate is just too... It's too slick. Oh. Okay, let's go find something easier. So we're in 4 low, but I'm not going to turn on that rear locker yet. I want to see how good the A-Track system is. Okay, so we've got some wheel spin. Now at this point, I'm just going to keep the throttle in, and we're going to see how it uses that wheel braking. Okay. Okay, not bad. It actually got us up and over. So what it was doing is pulsing the brakes on the wheels that were spinning and pushing that power to the wheel that have grip. Now it didn't work on the first attempt where we were on that last hill because all 4 wheels had no grip. So even if it was shifting, it couldn't get anywhere. I've used A-Track on a great many number of Toyota vehicles. And this has to be one of the more subtle applications of it that I've experienced. And I'm kind of surprised by that, because most of the time you hear like violent pulsing when A-Track is kicking in. This one, you don't hear it. And not only do you not hear it, it's not doing much. Now, with the most recent Tacoma, they have actually reduced the amount of pulsing noise. So that's nice. But you still get the same effectiveness. This one, not only is it quiet, it's not as effective as I would like. Okay, now let's do another run here. Go up here, and now this time, spin that rear wheel just a little bit, and I'm going to put the rear locker on. It turns off the traction system when I turn on the locker, which is interesting. There, not too bad. Okay, so you got options. Kind of surprised by that, actually. I really like this truck, but the fact is, the modern Ford Ranger and even the new Tacoma are just so much more capable than this vehicle is. And it's not just, if you're just doing basic things, like you want to use this as a farm vehicle, or you gotta, maintain your sheep herd, whatever, this vehicle is great. It can do anything you want. But if you actually want to take it off-roading, unlike serious trails, which I know isn't that much of a thing here in the UK, but Australia or wherever else you might happen to buy this, it's just not as capable as I had expected. And also the ride is pretty rough. Now, if they sold this in the US and they sold it for around, say, maybe, $35,000, I'd say, yeah, that might work. But the fact is, if you compare this to other modern offerings, this vehicle just really isn't competitive anymore. Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised by that. honestly. I kind of thought it would be better at the off-road stuff. But, you know, the one thing it does have is unmatched durability. And that is because it is simple. And sometimes simple is the best option. After spending some time with the Hilux, I can see why people like this truck so much. It is a strong, simple machine. But I can also see why Toyota doesn't offer the Hilux in North America. This is an old school truck. Even with all the suspension improvements on the GR Sport 2 trim, it still has an unusually harsh ride. The new Tacoma is just a lot more refined. It drives smoother and is quieter while still retaining about as much off-road capability as anybody will ever need. As for the diesel engine, yeah, it is nice. I also own the new Land Cruiser 250 with the Turbo 4 hybrid setup, the same one found in the Tacoma TRD Pro, and I drive it pretty much every day. The hybrid in those vehicles feels a lot more powerful than what's in here, but it cannot touch the 2.8 diesel in terms of economy. I was easily getting more than 30 miles to the gallon just driving out here from London. So if you have the option to get this 2.8, I would seriously consider it. It's a great cross-section of economy and power, but it's not fast. Toyota estimates a 0 to 60 in about 10 seconds. And of course, you can't get the 2.8 in the US, so that information is more for international viewers. Sorry. So now that I've driven it, do I find myself wanting to own a Hilux? Not really. I do appreciate Toyota giving me this opportunity. They provided the vehicle for testing, but now that I've scratched this itch, it's time to move on. Do you want to see reviews of more vehicles from around the world? You know, the forbidden fruits that we don't get in North America? Post a comment below. I was thinking maybe we could hunt down a Suzuki Jimny for an international adventure next year, or something. That is, if you're interested. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share videos. We make them for you. I hope you enjoy them. And now it's time for me to go home.